Most people spend their whole life trying to control everything: their job, their partner, how others see them, the future, the past. And in doing so, they suffer. Because the more you try to control what you can't, the more powerless you feel. And the more powerless you feel, the more anxious, frustrated, and bitter you become. The Stoics knew this. They knew that the root of unhappiness isn't failure or rejection. It's trying to control things that aren't yours to control in the first place. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, and even he wrote to himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's it. That's the whole game. Your peace, your freedom, your confidence. All come down to this. Can you master the only thing that actually belongs to you? Your mind. Because the more you focus on what's outside your control, the more you lose grip on the inside. But when you flip it, when you direct all your energy toward what you can influence, your thoughts, your choices, your attitude, you reclaim your power. This video breaks down the Stoic blueprint for mastering control, and with it, mastering happiness itself. Part 1. The freedom in letting go. We think control brings peace. We believe that if we can just fix this situation, change this person, prevent this failure, we'll finally feel safe. But the truth is the opposite. It's the pursuit of control that creates your suffering. The Stoics saw it clearly. They watched people around them twist themselves into knots, trying to manage what was never theirs, what others think, what might happen, how the world responds. And they asked a better question. What if happiness isn't found in control, but in letting go of it? Not in a passive way, not in a just give up kind of way, but in a radical, courageous, disciplined way. Letting go of what you can't command, so you can finally take charge of what you can. Marcus Aurelius led armies, commanded an empire, but even he reminded himself, day after day, you have power over your mind, not outside events. He had to say that because it's not easy. Even a Roman emperor struggled with wanting to control the uncontrollable, and so do you. You want the outcome to go your way. You want that person to love you back. You want life to bend to your plans. But Stoicism demands this truth. Control is an illusion, except for what lives inside you. And until you accept that, you'll always be anxious, always tight, always reactive. You'll overthink. You'll resent. You'll burn out. Because the harder you grip things you were never meant to hold, the more you lose yourself. The Stoics called this attachment to externals, and they saw it as the root of almost all emotional suffering. So, how do you let go? You observe without attaching. You stop labeling everything as good or bad. You train your mind to ask, is this in my control? If not, how can I move with it instead of fighting it? This doesn't mean you become passive. It means you become strategic. You stop wasting your energy trying to fix the weather and start focusing on how you'll walk through the storm. That's where peace comes from. Because suddenly your energy shifts from trying to control their opinion to showing up with integrity, from needing a perfect plan to trusting your ability to adapt, from gripping the outcome to mastering your response. That shift is where real strength is born. Letting go isn't weakness, it's not surrender. It's knowing that your power was never in the world, it was always in you. And when you stop chasing control outside, you finally gain it inside. You breathe deeper, you move wiser, you suffer less. You walk into chaos, not with fear, but with presence. Because you know that no matter what happens next, you own the only thing that really matters, your mind. Part 2. Define what's truly yours. Imagine holding a rope that's burning your hands. You're gripping it tighter and tighter, trying to pull something toward you, a person, a job, a result. But no matter how hard you pull, it's not coming. And the longer you hold on, the more it hurts. That's how most people live, trying to force control over things that don't belong to them. And they don't even realize it until they're in pain. The Stoics gave us a way out. They called it the dichotomy of control, a simple but powerful idea. There are two kinds of things in life: things that are within your control and things that are not. Your thoughts, yours; your choices, yours; your effort, yours; other people's actions, not yours; the weather, not yours; what happened yesterday, not yours. And the key to freedom, to clarity, to peace, is knowing the difference. Because the moment you try to claim what isn't yours, you lose yourself. You get anxious, angry, resentful. You blame. You spiral. But when you get clear, truly clear, on what belongs to you and what doesn't, something incredible happens. You stop leaking energy. You stop fighting battles that were never yours to fight. You stop trying to steer a ship that you were never the captain of. You draw a line, not to retreat from life, but to engage with it intelligently. Let's make this practical. Someone insults you? You don't control them. You control your reaction. A business deal falls through. You don't control the market. You control how you adapt. You get ghosted? You don't control their silence. You control your dignity. That's the work. Not to control everything, but to reclaim the only territory that is yours. Your mindset, your behavior, your focus. The Stoics didn't teach apathy. They taught ownership. You stop worrying about whether the world treats you fairly, and you start asking, did I show up well today? Did I stay aligned with my values? Did I handle my business? That's what builds confidence, because you stop being at the mercy of randomness. You stop waiting for life to go your way. You stop needing people to act right just so you can feel okay. And ironically, the more you give up trying to control them, the more you gain control over you. It's not easy. Your ego will fight it. It wants to believe that if you just say the right thing, try harder, hold on tighter, you can make everything bend your way. But the Stoic path is quieter. It's deeper. It's more powerful. It's the strength that comes from saying, this is mine, that is not, and I will focus only on what I own. Because the more you live within that line, the more unshakable you become. No more chasing, no more begging, no more gripping burning ropes. Just calm, just clarity, just you, standing firmly in your own domain. That's where happiness lives. That's where freedom begins. Part 3. Respond with reason, not emotion. Life will provoke you. You will be insulted. You will be disrespected. You will be misunderstood, cut off in traffic, ghosted, fired, betrayed, embarrassed. And in those moments, your instinct will scream, react, defend, attack, escape. But the Stoics taught us something else. Between stimulus and response, there is a gap. And in that gap is your power. Anyone can react. That takes no strength. But to pause, to observe your own anger, to breathe while your pride burns, to choose your response, consciously, calmly, that's mastery. Epictetus said, It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You are not what life throws at you. You are how you choose to meet it. Your emotions are not the enemy, but they're not in charge either. You feel anger? Good. Notice it. Study it. But don't become it. You feel fear? Let it rise. But don't let it drive the car. Because if you act on impulse, every time, your life is no longer yours. It belongs to whatever triggers you, to whatever headline or tweet or mood or person pushes your buttons next. That's not freedom. That's slavery to emotion. The Stoic ideal is not to suppress what you feel, but to govern it. To use your reason as the pilot and your emotion as the wind, not the storm. Marcus Aurelius was emperor of Rome. He had power most of us can't imagine, but he trained himself daily to stay composed. He wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who did the injury." That's leadership. That's restraint. That's dignity. You don't need to clap back at every insult. You don't need to prove yourself to every doubter. You don't need to explain your worth to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Instead, you can choose. Silence over shouting, patience over panic, action over argument, strength over show. And no, this won't always feel good. Sometimes the hardest thing you'll ever do is nothing. To not retaliate, to not snap back, to just breathe, to choose reason, not revenge. But every time you do that, you train your nervous system to serve you, not sabotage you. You strengthen the muscle of self-governance. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. And people notice. Your calm becomes contagious. Your presence becomes powerful. Your decisions get clearer. Your life gets lighter. Because you're no longer chasing control over others, you've built control within yourself, and that's the rarest thing in the world. So next time you're provoked, don't ask, "How do I win this argument?" Ask, "What would my highest self do right now? What serves my peace? What response reflects who I want to be?" Then act from that place, quiet, measured, unshaken, because your reaction is your responsibility, and mastering it, moment by moment, is what separates the impulsive from the powerful, the reactive from the respected, the ordinary from the stoic. Part 4. Build inner strength through discipline. No one sees it, no one applauds it, no one congratulates you for waking up early, for biting your tongue, for staying consistent when it would be easier to quit. But that's where real strength is built. In discipline, in silence, in the choices no one sees. The Stoics didn't talk about strength in terms of muscle or dominance. They talked about character, about doing what's right, especially when it's uncomfortable, about choosing long-term virtue over short-term comfort. Because comfort feels good now, but it weakens you over time. Discipline? It's the opposite. It feels hard now, but it builds a version of you that nothing can shake later. Marcus Aurelius said, "Just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter." He knew that greatness was built in ordinary routines. Waking up with purpose, doing your duty without complaint, holding your tongue when ego wants to lash out, showing up again and again and again. That's what builds inner weight, not talk, not performance, repetition, restraint, consistency. Because the truth is, you're always training something. Every time you hit snooze instead of getting up, you train avoidance. Every time you snap instead of pausing, you train impulsiveness. Every time you chase external validation, you train dependence. But every time you choose discomfort with integrity, you train freedom. Discipline is a quiet kind of freedom. It means you can trust yourself. It means you don't need the world to go your way, because you know how to hold your ground. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And he was right. Most of your fear is anticipation. Most of your anxiety is lack of structure. Most of your weakness is habit, not inability. But discipline cuts through that. You build routines. You simplify decisions. You stay grounded when everything around you tries to shake you loose. And no, it's not flashy, but it's strong, it's solid, it's sustainable. Because when life gets heavy, and it will, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall back on your habits. And if your habits are weak, so are you. But if your habits are disciplined, you become unbreakable. So ask yourself, what do I repeat daily that strengthens me? What do I need to stop excusing and start executing? What version of me am I building when no one's watching? Because it's not about motivation. It's not about willpower. It's about who you choose to be. In the dark, before the spotlight, without applause. That's Stoic discipline. That's unshakable strength. And that, more than anything, is what gives you control over your life. Not control over the world, but control over yourself. And that, friend, is the only control that ever mattered.